Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon Perna, some jackwad who thinks he's qualified to talk about NFL news. That's me. And today, me asks, does Baltimore overspending for Odell Beckham Jr. actually jeopardize Lamar Jackson's future with the Ravens? What's a reason that OBJ signed with the Ravens that nobody has mentioned? Well, we know the money is good, but what else is there to this deal? I'm gonna figure it out today on That's Good Sports. Please, if this face doesn't turn you off, subscribe here. Also, today's episode is sponsored by Raycon and my special discount link, buyraycon.com/that'sgood, which you can click in the description. I've had the same pair of everyday earbuds from Raycon for nearly 3 years before losing them traveling. Luckily, Raycon has specifically designed their earbuds to be both durable and affordable, so I didn't sweat purchasing a new pair as I didn't overpay like I would have with other overpriced brands. You pay half the price with Raycon for the same, if not better quality. Raycon also offers 2-year protection plans for just a few extra bucks. They also have customizable sound profiles, 8 hours of playtime, and my favorite, noise isolation. With spring here, I use my Raycons while doing a little yard work because who wants to hear the sounds of birds? Oh. And I literally use my Raycons every single night when I go to bed. I pop one in my ear with the noise ISO on and listen to a podcast to knock me out while my wife Jess watches something else on TV. When you use something every day, you put it through the ringer and these guys hold up. So click my link below for 15% off the already affordable Raycon earbuds and treat your ear holes to something nice. The Cleveland Browns are not expected to sign 27-year-old free agent running back Kareem Hunt. Considering he's still a free agent, that means the Browns are now just like all of the other NFL teams. I don't see the Chiefs pursuing Kareem Hunt like many have been pleading for on Twitter. The Chiefs already have a guy who can start and kick in a pinch in Justin Reed. Kareem Hunt and Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott, both still free agents. Kind of wild. And I don't see any team signing either back until after the draft. It's kind of crazy because both backs are talented and both are just 27 years old. And both can pass pro like a mother. Plus, I think they will make a positive impact where they do eventually sign. Now, Hunt has been linked to the Commanders in a reunion with former OC from Kansas City and Eric Bieniemy. But the Commanders watched Brian Robinson survive being shot multiple times and turn into a feature back. Unless they can move Antonio Gibson, who is one of the more underutilized backs in the league, I don't see a need for Hunt in Washington. Even the Texans, who sign 9 running backs every free agency period, are done in that department after adding Devin Singletary and Mike Boone. I'd like to see Kareem Hunt in Seattle, where running backs never play full seasons, but are integral pieces to that offense. Tennessee Titans finally decided to keep one of their best players, Jeffrey Simmons, who inked a new 4-year, $94 million deal over the weekend, with $66 million of that guaranteed. Now, Simmons is the anchor of that defensive line. He is a beast. And when Harold Landry returns from injury, that D-line should be absolutely nasty again. That said, I thought Simmons censoring the F word to announce that he was back was a little beta. Just type the letters UCK, Jeff. Simmons is really more afraid of those 3 letters than missing the playoffs for the next 4 years in Tennessee. All right, the big story. OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., has signed a 1-year deal worth up to $18 million with the Ravens per him. I'm not saying he is him, but that he announced it via his Instagram. While he was once him, he is now his. Past tense, great. Current tense, pretty good with a lot to prove. Why did the Ravens drop up to $18 million on OBJ? Well, honestly, I think the Ravens were just happy to have a free agent wide receiver want to sign with them. They're kind of like the dude who could never get a date and then married the first girl that ever slept with him, even though she wasn't necessarily the right person. And no, I'm not fucking talking about myself, so shut up. My wife's freaking cool. Now, OBJ was supposed to meet with the New York Jets today or last night or something, but the Ravens, they made him an offer he couldn't refuse. That's right, they cut off the head of his favorite horse and left it in his bed. If you don't get that reference, shame on you. First, shout out to OBJ for telling the NFL he wants $20 million and not signing shit until he got close to $20 million. I'm happy for Odell and his agent and his accountant and his future children. They will be eating name brand cereal for their entire lives, and that's a beautiful thing. That said, my opinion is this is a massive overspend for a guy coming off his second ACL injury. Why are the Ravens so willing to pay OBJ, who has, quote, injury concerns, but not Lamar Jackson, who has, quote, less significant injury concerns? Is this the Ravens' way of showing Lamar they are serious about helping him get better? Will this translate to a long-term deal for Action Jackson? I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think Lamar is thrilled to have OBJ on his team because players love OBJ for whatever reason, and because Lamar is a tremendous teammate. I think Lamar believes in his current group of ball catchers and would have been fine playing with them. I don't for 1 second buy into the idea that Lamar, even in negotiation, would ever throw any of his teammates under the bus and make a demand to the Ravens that essentially says he thinks his current receivers are all second tier. That's not Lamar. I still believe, though, Lamar, like OBJ, has a number, okay, and he's not going to budge until it's met. At this point in OBJ's career, using him as a chess piece to appease your young QB is a bit off target. I do believe Odell can help, I really do, and make a positive impact on that offense, but essentially Lamar asked for a PS5 and the Ravens got him a bike instead. Like, still a nice gift, one he'll definitely use, but he wanted a PS5, god damn it. I used this argument when I defended the Broncos signing right tackle Mike McGlinchey, and I will use it again in the OBJ to the Ravens favor. Odell is indeed, if healthy, an upgrade to the Ravens receiving core, all right? They have been so underwhelming at the position in terms of consistent production that adding OBJ, even if, let's say, he's like the 20th best receiver in the league, is a step up from having nobody cracking the top 40. I don't care if it's due to injury, the Ravens simply did not have that last season. I say that as someone who heavily bet on Rashad Bateman last year in a lot of my fantasy drafts. Bateman is also a guy who missed more than half of last season with injuries. I might bet on Bateman being the actual number one receiver if he stays healthy over Odell. But that remains to be seen, and with the firing of Greg Roman and the addition of Todd Monken, we cannot predict exactly how the Ravens' passing game will even function next season. Another thing nobody has mentioned is that if Lamar plays on the tag and say has success in Monken's offense that maybe leans a little more passing traditional in the eyes of the NFL, well, that will skyrocket Lamar's value. If Todd and OBJ help make him look good in the passing game, then Lamar could become the next highest paid player ever in the NFL.
Big trust. Woo woo.
Now, there's no doubt Lamar is excited about Odell coming to Baltimore, but I think Lamar knows if he has to play on this current tag, OBJ could really help him in terms of leverage, and that kind of depth in the receiving core is a stronger play for Lamar to bet on himself. While this signing may entice Lamar to return for 2023, maybe, and say not hold out, I don't think watching the Ravens make OBJ the highest paid free agent receiver this cycle helps Baltimore keep him for the long haul. In fact, I can see Lamar asking, why the hell are you so scared to overpay me but not OBJ? There's a chance OBJ could be a number one receiver with the Ravens. Could. I don't think that's Odell's top priority at this point in his career, but if he helps Lamar get leverage, then he too will have leverage after this season, right? Mark Andrews at tight end opens up the door for one receiver to shine in Baltimore the same way Travis Kelce can do in Kansas City. I don't think last year's leading receiver, Demarcus Robinson, will compete as the true number one for the Ravens. Monken's scheme will be the X factor, right? But based on Lamar's history as a passer, he's targeted Mark Andrews and one wideout heavily, while all the other ball catchers are kind of left competing for scraps. If that passing tendency holds true, OBJ could rack up over 1,000 receiving yards like Marquise Brown did in 2021. But if Lamar, just say, gets hurt again, and OBJ also helps Tyler Huntley thrive or looks good with Tyler Huntley, OBJ put himself in position to get paid again in 2024. Like if he did that with the Jets, everybody would have just said he benefited from Aaron Rodgers. If he does that with the Ravens, he gives himself a bit more to negotiate with. One key factor that led to OBJ choosing the Ravens over the Jets is the chemistry he and Lamar will have on the field. I'm pretty sure I'm the first person to point this out, but as much as OBJ will want to be a number one, it's a number two that has these two linked forever. We cannot confirm that Lamar Jackson needed to shit mid-game against the Browns. Just like we cannot confirm that OBJ ever wanted to be defecated on during copulation, but both have had poop rumors associated with their name, and it happened in the same year. Nothing will bond two men like unfounded poop rumors. The primary reason OBJ never met with the Jets, $18 million. The secondary reason OBJ signed with the Ravens, there's a much better chance he stands out there. There's no way he's outshining Garrett Wilson in New York, even with Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers already has chemistry with Allen Lazard, and Mecole Hardman, in terms of athleticism, does have some upside there in New York. OBJ might have been the third receiver there. And OBJ knows that. I also think OBJ views Lamar Jackson as an easier quarterback to work with than Aaron Rodgers at this point, and has a better chance to build real chemistry quickly with Lamar Jackson. Rodgers, don't get me wrong, would have loved to have OBJ in the mix, but there's no chance Rodgers went out of his way to kiss OBJ's ass. Fluff his ego a bit. Whatever. Plus, the Jets, as a team, already wasted all of their extracurricular recruiting tactics on Rodgers. There's no room left for OBJ in that department, who, make no mistake, does need attention. He needs to feel loved. That said, I do hope this helps get Lamar paid. Either now by the Ravens or next offseason, where the Ravens could tag him again. I hope that doesn't happen. But ultimately, if OBJ gets Lamar a 3 to 5 year deal, that's a great assist from the guy who willingly let his dad end Baker Mayfield's career with the Browns. It's a step in the right direction, OBJ. Oh, thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Again, 400,000 today. I'll get a Tom Brady tattoo. I'll do it. Will you do your part?